you have to examine everybody's set of circumstances, individually. You can't, just look at it carte blanche and say if you have the option of the money. People are not just giving people bags of money. That's what they're telling these fools. You got to assess your situation, and see, how that adds up for you. But the pitiful thing about it is the kids who do those kinds of things following a ghost. They think that people are just going to be handing out money like that. It's no clear answer. I wouldn't tell anybody to stay. I wouldn't tell them to go until you made an assessment of the situation that you're dealing with.
The athletic where the kids of nowadays, all these kids are competing where Adidas has their hand on one line, Nike has their hand on the other. How do you feel about the fact that people come to them and trying to get them to wear a certain brand of attire?
Well, that's the world that we live in. That's like the same decision you're talking about with the NBA. They come to me, they come to you. We haven't turned down any money. Why should we teach kids to turn down money? But you've got to evaluate the situation. The times have changed. We can't evaluate these kids today based on what people did years ago. The market, supply and demand. They are in demand now, and people can use them to advertise. If you're going to be a professional athlete, you got to understand what your responsibilities are too, and that's what a lot of these young people don't realize. See, the problem with all of that is how they come out, not how they go in. It's not you going in and getting a lot of money and then you come out and you declare bankruptcy. See, and folks who make less money tend to advise them that you just go ahead and take it, where you better show them how to utilize that and how to deal with it. It's not as simple as people may think. You read every day where these guys made millions of dollars of declaring bankruptcy. How does that happen? We always talk about the kids going in and how much they make. They don't talk about how what happens to those guys afterwards.
Any high school athlete right now that stands out to you?
All of them. I think these kids are doing what all the rest of us did. You following a dream, whether it's a competitive dream or economic dream. That's what we all do. You look at that and people preach about education, but very few people go to school just for enrichment, enlightenment. You go to school so you can get a better job. And that's why a lot of these kids leave school, and it's difficult for a kid today because he has so many options, but you got to be careful because you can get yourself in a trouble situation.
In one word, what would you tell a high school athlete before signing to the NBA contract? In your own words, what would you tell them?
Get yourself a good lawyer. His expertise is basketball. His expertise is not the law and finances. See, that's the biggest problem with all of this is folks tend to think that if they're very good in one thing, that they know everything, because we blow smoke up their ass and make them think that. And the kid comes out and he makes all that money, somebody just takes it from him. Some guy working just as hard on finance as he is on basketball. That guy manages it, and you've got to be careful about who you select, and you got to get that person audited too. You got to have your checks and balances in it, and that's part of the educational process that you're dealing with these kids.
For a highly recruited prospect, let's say if you were recruiting them, what word of advice would you tell them prior to joining your team?
Depends on the kid. There's no word that you can give or single thing. It depends on the kid and his talents and what resources you have available to deal with him. It's not just one thing that you tell people. I'm an advocate of a person getting educated, and I'm more of an advocate of him applying his education. We run around here and talk about people graduating from school. The application of your education is more important than getting a degree. Make certain that the things you learn, you know how to apply them and deal with them. This is John Thompson for CourtCred.com.